Welcome back to Closed Mouth Media. My name is Chris, and I am your host for this WandaVision Episode 7 review. As you can see, my partner in crime, Paul, is not here. I guaranteed last week that we would be here for the final 3 episodes, and then a snowstorm hit. We are in New York, so nothing we can really do about that. He can't get out of his driveway, let alone all the way to my house. Anyway, you get to see our new setup. Just kidding, because that's all behind the camera right now, and I'm turning it all around so you don't see it. Season 4 coming soon next week. We will have more reveals and the launch of the new season. So if you're a fan of our show, please check that out. If you're just a fan of WandaVision and you're tuning in, episode 7, it's Agatha Harkness. If you haven't seen my reviews yet, you wouldn't have guessed that. Maybe you would have if you're a comics lover. I guessed it after episode 2. So go fact check me because it's on the internet and live forever. I literally said it's going to be Agatha Harkness. Agnes is bad. I don't trust her at all. And it was. So this episode opens and there's 3 storylines. There's the Darcy and Vision storyline, which I did not really enjoy. I guess I'll start with that one. They kind of played it off for comic relief. I thought it was kind of funny, but also it was like too lighthearted. This show has been dark this entire time, so I hope they don't change that with this comic relief. I mean, there's always been comedy in it, but she's telling him like, hey, you died, you got brought back, and then you died again, and the woman that you love had to watch it, and she loves you, and it's terrible, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, it sucks. And then she gets woken up from the hex, and she's just like, yeah, that sucks. Like, aren't they getting like tortured in their mind when they're in there, like, and trapped in? Like, I don't know. So that didn't work for me. They were trying to get back, and all these little things are impeding their progress. So then Vision just, I'm not driving back. I'm just going to fly over there. Then there was a second storyline, which also I didn't really love. So basically it was Monica and Wu meeting up with the scientist that was making this, this space rover, or has the space rover that they're retrofitting to get into the hex and not change. And so people thought it would be Reed Richards. People thought it would be Sue Storm. People thought it might be, I heard some things about Quentin Beck, Mysterio. I heard so many different things. And then it happens to be someone that I don't even know from the comics. I couldn't even read the name tag. And honestly, it was so nonchalant with the 2 minutes that they spent on screen. I didn't feel like going back and looking. And then as Monica is driving up the space rover towards the hex, I'm just like, that'd be funny if it just didn't work. And then it just didn't work. She just drove into it, and they're just like, it's not working. Oh no. And I think it was maybe a character from Captain Marvel 1. I've not seen that movie more than once. Not a big fan of it. So I don't know. Maybe it was. But it just doesn't work. So they hyped up this thing for 2 episodes, and this reveal of who this scientist is for 2 episodes turns out to be nothing major. And the space rover doesn't work. And Monica just says, fuck it. And runs right through the thing. And it like takes her a while. And she's like coming apart and then coming back together. And then she pops through and she has blue eyes. It's like, okay, I get it. You're Photon. If you don't read the comics, she becomes a character called Photon, which they teased with the mural thing of her mom that says Photon. She was called Photon too. And so basically she has powers. Now, here's my problem. You've been waiting for 2 episodes for her to run through this thing in a rover to drive through. Doesn't work. She just runs through and it works. And she gets superpowers. If you don't see the problems there, that's fine. I try to be fair, even with TV shows that I love, and honestly, this wasn't great for me. Neither was the Darcy Vision stuff. Let me know if you disagree. I'd love to start a conversation down below and get that going. Moving on to Monica now in the hex is not transformed, so she's still Monica, and she's running up to Wanda, and she basically says, hey, Wanda, and Wanda's like, get out. Blasts her or whatever, like picks her up into the sky with her red wiggly woos, as fake Pietro said. And so she kind of like is like, nah, I'm not listening. And then she starts kind of listening. And as soon as she starts listening a little bit to Monica, here comes Agnes. Agnes comes in and says, leave her alone, blah, blah, blah. She's heard enough, and pulls Wanda into her house. Now, this is where the big reveal came. Agnes takes Wanda into the house. They're sitting in there, and Wanda's like, hey, where are the kids? Kids aren't there. She's going, they must be playing in the basement. Wanda goes into the basement and then sees this stone pathway with this greenery, like these vines on the walls. Follows the path. And I'm just sitting here tooting my own horn because I know what's coming next, because I predicted this all the way back in episode 2. In the episode 2 review, go check it out if you want to. Yeah, it's Agatha Harkness. Agatha Harkness. Simple, guys. It's simple. Unless you're not a comics reader. So, basically, Agatha Harkness is a companion to Wanda in the comics, and sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad. A lot of the times it's in like a mentor way where she kind of teaches Wanda certain things about her powers and things like that. But Wanda goes into the basement. She sees this book with this like weird aura around it. Maybe that's the Westview like spell working or something. And then all these weird artifacts around the room. I have to go back and watch and see if there's anything from the comics in those artifacts that I'm not spotting. And then Agnes walks in and she goes, hey, Wanda, you're not the only one that has powers. And she like does little purple things and closes the door, and her thing is like a smoky black purple. It's very cool looking, not gonna lie. She goes, nice to finally meet you. My name is Agatha Harkness. And I'm just like, told you. I mean, the fact that it was predictable for me is not a bad thing, honestly. I really enjoy how she played Agnes. I am probably gonna love how she plays Agatha, even though she's technically playing them both at the same time. You know what I mean. So yeah, she reveals this, and then that's pretty much it. Cuts to black, and there's a little scene after the credits, which is Photon, Monica Rambeau, opening the thing, I forgot what those doors are called, to the basement. And then fake Pietro pops up and says some shit, and looks like he's gonna whack her or something. But yeah, that's basically it. The director of S.W.O.R.D., acting director of S.W.O.R.D., is planning to launch something. So I guess some type of attack on the dome, on the Hex, is coming. Hopefully next episode. We'll see. Underwhelming for me. I thought one storyline was good, which was Wanda freaking out, the twins disappearing, which means maybe they're, because of Agatha, maybe she like created them to keep Wanda distracted. And the Wanda storyline I really actually enjoyed. She's clearly slipping, and she expanded the Hex, which Agnes maybe couldn't control that much after Wanda expanded it, and that's why all this stuff was like tripping out. I don't know. I got a lot of questions, a lot of theories. Comment down below with yours, because I want to know what you guys have to say about this. I'm lost on this show. It's so great, even though I was underwhelmed by 2 of the 3 storylines, I think, in this episode. Either way, this episode still gets like a solid 7.5 for me, especially for the ending. It's a solid score. It is the lowest of the season for me. That's just because a couple of things I was maybe a little too excited for. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting grumpy because it's like 4 a.m. and this is my 3rd time shooting this review. So anyway, tune back for next week for our review, me and Paul's review of episode 8, and then the following week for the finale, which I can't wait for these next 2 episodes. I really hope, and I felt that way about this one too, I really hope they're more than 30 minutes. I hope they're like 45 to an hour at least, and I hope we get some loose ends tied up, because there is so much stuff that is just like out there right now that needs to be answered, and I hope we get some answers. I'm assuming next week is going to be like at least half of like a flashback-ish episode of like how Agnes actually controlled little things. And I know we got like that super cut of them at the end of this episode, but maybe just a little bit more detail into how that happened, or how it started, how everything started maybe. Ooh, there's so many good things to think about. Anyway, I'm so excited to watch these final 2 episodes of WandaVision. If you are too, let me know down below. Me and Paul will be answering every single comment and question that you have, and we'll just be starting a discussion. So for season 4, close your mouth media if you're a fan of us. If you're not, subscribe and watch our videos and see if you like it. If you don't, then by all means, go about your day. But if you are a fan of Close Your Mouth Media, please make sure that you are subscribed. Season 4 launching next week. So right behind the camera right now, there is a brand new little setup, little reveal that we got coming for you. So there's some stuff in store for next week, and I really want you guys to see it. So subscribe, hit the bell, like, comment, all that good stuff, all that stuff that them YouTubers say. Other than that, Hush Gang, close your mouth.